Now another thing I like to do whenever I come up to rock like this is just touch it, feel the texture of it. Oh boy, it's quite abrasive. It feels like sandpaper. And with that, I know it's a grainstone made of small grains. And grainstones can be like sandstone made primarily of quartz, silica, or we know this is limestone, carbonate, so it's some kind of a carbonate grainstone. And there are many different types of grains that carbonates can have, so I need to look at it with my hand lens. Let me take a piece here, take a look. Well, how could that be? How did it happen? What makes them? Or how do they form?
Something else is very puzzling about this grainstone. Limestone is soft and easily destroyed as it's transported, yet we have these small grains preserved.
Well, it turns out these were recognized in Germany long ago in medieval times. They have beautiful outcrops of this rock, and they called it Rogenstein. Now, I know the pronunciation's off, I'm not German, but Rogenstein, which is in English rowstone, like fish roe, fish eggs. So that's what it reminded them of, fish eggs. But it would be many, many years later before geologists figured out really what they are and how they form.
Let's take a quick look at the deposits here just underneath the limestone, and then look at those above, deposited just after the limestone formation.
So here I am underneath, stratigraphically, the layer of rock that sits underneath this limestone here. So the limestone is dipping about 25 degrees or so, and this is what's underneath it. So it was deposited before it, of course, and it's shale, soft, very soft, and it's covered with oysters, Gryphea.
This, of course, means that these shales were deposited in a marine environment. Now looking at the deposits above the limestone, I saw this hillside with countless points of light reflecting off oyster shells. This photograph shows all the broken shells, but notice these small amber-colored bullet-shaped fossils. They're called belemnites, and in this shale layer can be abundant.
And this is where I wanted to bring you. Wow, the Great Exuma Island of the Bahamas. It's mid-January, beautiful, 80 degrees. You look at the water, wow, the colors are unbelievable. That's because the water is so incredibly clear, and you have these white sands everywhere underneath the water and out here on the beach. But the white sand, of course, is why I'm here. They're the tiny spheres that we see in the rocks there in Wyoming.
In the modern environment, they're called ooids, and in the rock record, they're called oolites. Comparing the ooids of the Bahamas to the oolites of Wyoming, we can see just how similar they are. Ooids form in shallow, high-energy, clear, and warm waters that are supersaturated with respect to calcium carbonate. High evaporation rates in the shallow waters creates this supersaturation. These conditions typically are met in the tropics or subtropics.